Tonight we're following up our discussion from It's the Law last week on a huge topic on both the Democratic and Republican platforms this year, women's rights. Attorney Jay Davis is here to talk about birth control and how it fits into President Obama's much debated health care plan. Jay, as always, thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Andrew.
Now, what happens if right now the Obama plan is if employers have to basically provide access to free birth control to their employees? Now, what happens if some employers don't comply with that?
Probably it's going to be a monetary sanction, some sort of penalty. More than likely it's monetary. Probably
Penalty
not going to rise.
per employee, or?
Well, that's not really clear, I don't think, at this point. We're waiting to see, but I don't think it's going to include jail time. It'll probably just be some monetary penalties for failure to do so. Now,
Governor Romney has said that he would, repeal Obamacare and this so-called contraceptive mandate. That's what it's being called right now on the Republican side. But some have said that that mandate is unconstitutional. Do they have a case with that?
Sure, they've got a case, but we've already gone to the Supreme Court on one portion of the case, and it's been deemed that it was a tax rather than, as Obama had said, it was just a penalty. So it depends. There's going to be probably a lot of sectioning out on whose rights and whose other rights are being involved in this. So when a government takes over that large a segment of the society, they're going to step on some people's rights, individuals, religious rights, and those types of things.
As we're seeing right now, because there have been some lawsuits over this. Now, tell me, if a woman is not given this access to birth control, or if their employer's insurance doesn't cover that, does that woman have a case against the employer? If
the employer fails to comply with the law, probably she may have a suit. The question is, what are her damages? If she becomes pregnant and then wants to sue, is she suing because she didn't want the child? Did she give the child up for adoption, or did she continue to keep the child? And that may influence what her monetary damages would be, the cost of getting pregnant, or the cost of the contraception that she had to buy herself.
And a lot of people have called this, the GOP war on women. This is kind of one of the themes at the Democratic National Convention we heard last night about just this issue, contraceptives, abortion, things like that, and how the GOP doesn't want to help these women, use their rights and everything like that. Now, this also comes to, religious groups. A lot of religious groups and religious employers, religious institutions do not want to don't like this mandate because they don't support birth control in any way, shape, or form. Now, is there I guess we talked about this a little bit last week, can the government legislate this if it steps on religious organizations' toes, if you will?
Well, the government can legislate it to some degree. There is religious freedom. But to the point of the war on the women, I mean, people need to remember that as selective adoption, selective gender selection and adoptions are almost uniformly women. Women are a much greater aborted. Baby girls are much more often aborted than boys. So I don't see how that against women holds. But the religious rights still exist in this country, no matter how much there's a lot of media controversy against them. They still exist, and they will be upheld to some degree in the Supreme Court, but we're going to wait and see how much the Supreme Court will hold.
All right, Jay, it's a very interesting debate, and we'll see what happens with it. Thanks so much. We appreciate it. And if you have a legal question, you can send it to us at itsthelaw@41nbc.com.